Good evening, Chestermere. Today is March 27th. I am giving this video update from my home here in Chestermere. The confirmed cases of COVID-19 have again increased in Alberta and now stands at 542. In Chestermere, we remain at 4 confirmed cases. Before I turn it over to our Director of Emergency Management, Bernie Morton, for new local announcements, I want to take a moment to review the provincial measures announced this afternoon. To summarize the provincial updates, gathering in groups remain a risk, and we strongly recommend against any gathering. But today the provincial government has prohibited any gathering, including in your individual homes, of more than 15 people. Again, here in Chestermere, we strongly recommend that you do not gather at all outside of your immediate household, given the risk of community transmission of the COVID-19 virus. All non-essential businesses must now close, and all close contact businesses across the province must close. A measure we implemented in Chestermere last week. All restaurant dining rooms are now closed. Again, something we have worked with our local restaurants on over the past week. There are new supports in place for renters. No one may be evicted before May 1st. And landlords must work with renters to determine a payment plan together. Provincial and Crown land is now closed to vehicle traffic wanting to access the land for recreational purposes. More details were presented in the provincial announcement today, and I encourage everyone to visit alberta.ca/COVID-19 for that information. Now, here in Chestermere, we follow the provincial lead, but can also make decisions at the municipal level as a result of our declaration of state of local emergency to help stop the spread of this virus right here in our own community. And for the most part, we have been days ahead of the province with our own local initiatives. Before signing off, I must remind you of the following. We can stop the spread of this virus, but it will take an entire community to make this happen. Remember, if you have just returned from travel outside of Canada, you must remain at home for 14 days as mandated by the federal government under the Quarantine Act. Also, wash your hands rigorously and frequently. Keep your hands away from your face. Stay at least 2 meters from others. Stay home if you're sick. Call 811 if you think you may be infected. And 911 if you're in medical distress. These important measures are for all of us to follow. Finally, I'd like to thank everyone who has gone the extra mile in the last few weeks to prevent the spread of the COVID-19. Thank you for taking this seriously. Thank you for finding ways to keep your kids healthy and active, even when you are at home. Thank you for looking after your senior neighbors. Thank you for calling to check on quarantined snowbirds. And thank you for coming together, even as we have to physically stay apart. And now, over to our Director of Emergency Management, Bernie Morton, for the latest here in Chestermere. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening. This evening I would like to begin by addressing the seniors in our community and those returning home from travels. While spending time with family and friends and catching up on events from the past is a fun thing to do, now more than ever we must ask you to practice safe physical distancing. We have received numerous calls of late in our command center of seniors gathering in lobbies of buildings or in other places, including people's homes, essentially socializing in a way that compromises our community's health and that of their own. For snowbirds in particular, I want to clarify that you must stay home for 14 days, as mandated under federal law, and that's the Quarantine Act. That means that you are legally required to go straight home and stay home. You can't go to the grocery store, you can't visit anyone. You must go home and stay home for 14 days. And I understand that this is an extreme measure, and for some it may be difficult to follow. But if we are to be successful in our community in keeping a rapid spike in COVID-19 cases from happening, we have to follow these protocols. As the Mayor referenced, we appreciate the new stringent standards that the provincial government has put in place today. And many of those measures are in fact ones that we've implemented here in Chestermere last week. And we're glad to see that they're following our desire for increased protection for our community. Our efforts to date seem to be working, but they'll only continue to work if we remain safe and diligent. And we are taking more action locally as protective and preventative measures. And so tonight, I am announcing that effective immediately, the following locations are closed: the Chestermere Family Bike Park, the Skatepark, the beaches and the benches at Anniversary Park, at Sunset Beach, Cove Park, and the Dog Park Rock Beach. All playgrounds and skate parks and bicycle parks, basketball courts and the tennis courts, as well as the Pavilion at John Peake Park. They're closed. And in addition, Lakeside Greens Golf Course is also closed until further notice. Let me be clear. Our park spaces are important spaces, and the parks remain open. You are welcome to walk your dog or to play in the park so long as you are healthy and that you are practicing safe social and physical distancing. The features and the locations that I mentioned that are closed are important gathering places for our community. And in days past, friends and partners and children and families would happily join and gather and enjoy all that these places have to offer. They would bring us smiles and memories. But today, and until we have overcome the dangers of COVID-19, these places are sadly places that could put us all at risk. These are trying times for all of us. And so please take some time to discuss these changes as a family and help children and teenagers and grandparents understand the seriousness of the situation and the reasons why we as a community have to resort to extraordinary measures to protect ourselves. In addition to the provincial measures of prohibiting dining services, we're also putting in new measures to monitor delivery and takeout options, ones to protect you. We're wanting to ensure that trained staff and members of these restaurants are engaging in and practicing safe and appropriate sanitary procedures to ensure your safety. In addition, these new orders are also available on our website. Again, if you notice a person or a business that is not following these required protocols, we ask you to let our tip line know and call 403-207-8143. Again, 403-207-8143. Every single call, every single tip will be followed up on, and we take them seriously. Please know that we are dedicated to taking whatever additional steps needed to keep you and to keep our community safe. Thank you, God bless, and have a good evening.